Okay. We're going to see if this one works this time. All right. Okay.
Again.
Hi there. We are live.
Yay. Oh, I see now. I got my computer, so now I can see the chat on the side. Uh-oh. Rachele, you're frozen. Hi, Jen. Nice to see you.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Oh my gosh. We're having internet issues. We had to reboot everything. And
yeah, I have a kid who games as well. Like in this house, we've had my husband and I are both on video conferences all day. My son is always playing Fortnite with his friends on the PlayStation. My daughter is always streaming Netflix or something.
I mean, isn't that most households that have younger adults now?
Yeah, and no school, right? So you don't get a break. So
well, I mean, mine are 21 and 25, so they're not really in school anymore. But
yep.
hi guys, thank you for sticking with us. I am so sorry.
Hi Dawn. Hi Jen.
Yeah.
Oh,
let me pull this up on the other side. Yes, it's better. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So all the information that I had down below, I no longer have in this video for you, like your Facebook, your Instagram. So guys, I'm just going to refer you to the first video that is still up for all of those links, and people will start rolling in again.
no problem.
So I'm really sorry. This is the first time this has ever happened to me. So,
that's okay. It's been a crazy week.
Yeah. Oh, and it's so warm here. Is it really warm where you're at?
Yeah, today I think was around 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Oh,
Hot.
I don't know. It's like almost 90 degrees here.
Yeah.
So we went from like practically no spring right on to summer.
Yeah.
So typical. All right. So we'll just get started. Everyone will catch up with us. Okay. Are you guys seeing me okay? And can you hear me okay? Can you hear both of us okay? So.
Hi, Lady Knight.
Hi, Maria. Hi, Julie. Welcome back, everybody. So, why your channel name is, Jade Indigo. Is that your real name, or is that
That is not my real name. That is not my real name. But we were talking a little bit earlier about, my real life versus this life. So when I started my channel, like when I came to tarot, I was in a really bad spot in my life, or sort of coming out of a really bad spot, and tarot was incredible in terms of helping me get through all that and dealing with trauma and whatnot. And my real life is very technical. I have an engineering background. Everything is logic, science, and this, if you ask any of my colleagues or, anybody at work, this would not be considered, spirituality, tarot, like fortune telling, divination, pendulums, like it's all crap, right? And so I did a really good job of focusing through my life on getting to where I wanted to be. I never wanted to be in the same spot that I was when I was a child. And I did it. I got to where I wanted to be. But of course, as with anything, it comes with a cost, right? And that cost was eliminate the creative side, right? Everything had to be logic and science. And, at some point, I guess, if you have a part of yourself that you're denying and you do not allow in your life, it catches up with you at some point. And so when my life kind of fell apart, I was trying to find my way back to myself. And so that's sort of why the Tarot Your Truth, because Tarot was the first thing that I sort of turned to. I don't even know why. Like, I honestly tried Tarot maybe 15 years ago, stuck with it for about a month, and then put it away in a drawer and never looked at it again. And for some reason, I never got rid of that little deck. It was, it moved cities with me. And so one day I was just like, let me pull that out again. And then I started watching videos. Who knew Tarot Tube was even a thing? So anyway, that's sort of the story of how my channel name came about.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So how would you label? Well, actually, let me say hi to a few people that just came in. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Trish and Summer. Julie, Jen, I already said. Hi, Tangi. Okay. Hopefully I didn't.
Hi, everybody.
All right, there we go. Hopefully we didn't miss anybody. So how would you label your spiritual path?
I guess if I had to put a label on it, I would probably, like at this point, I would probably say an eclectic person.
Okay.
I hate putting labels on stuff because my personality is one that, like, if you tell me, like, this is why I did so well, like with my focus in my professional life, was if you tell me, like, I kind of have that ODD, right? If you say you can't do that, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so, I was raised Roman Catholic, and I didn't have any of the, I hear lots of people talking about, traumas that they went through in the church, and I didn't have a lot of that. I didn't really have that, to be honest with you, and it's really weird. But I lived in Italy, like in Rome, so the seat of the Catholic Church, and it, weirdly enough, it seems more open than it does here. I don't know. Anyways, but I never really, again, I have that kind of logical brain, so I never really bought into a lot of the stuff, right? So when I went to get married, we wanted to, both of us were Catholic, and we wanted to get married outside, right, on the golf course. And we went to our church, and the priest said, no, you can't. You must get married in a church. And because God. And my response was, sorry, I thought God was everywhere, right? Like, what? Right? So I kind of, and there was a few things like that. My dad passed away, and he wanted to be buried in Italy, but he didn't want us to spend $15,000 or $20,000 or whatever it was going to cost to ship his body, in the, what do you call it?
Casket?
The casket, thank you. Overseas. So he told us, cremate me, because then you can just, carry the urn, and you can carry that on the plane with you. Well, our church here wouldn't even let us have a funeral, like what's considered an actual funeral, in the church unless his body was there. Like, and I'm just like, this is stupid, right? Like, this is a bunch of men who have just decided that, you know, I must control everything and, you know, whatever. So I always had my thing, you know what, I believe in God this way. This is my vision. It's not the only thing I believe in. Like, I guess maybe I'm a little weird, but I kind of believe like all gods and goddesses are the same, right? Like, it's the energy. It's that energy. So, you know, if you say God is Diana, like, well, that's just one piece of
One face.
one face, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my belief. Sorry, that was a really long-winded explanation, but and I'm still evaluating, right? Like, I'm still looking at things and what I believe. And there's a lot of things that I realized, like, you know, I went to catechism every single week, and you know, I read the Bible I don't know how many times, but never anywhere did I learn anything about Lilith or, you know, any other pieces, right? It was just like what they specifically fed to you. And so, like, now, like, trying to rediscover those things, so I can make up my own mind, because I have a brain. So
Absolutely. You know, I find that very interesting that I was raised and Christian, not Catholic, but Christian. And yeah, I was just saying it the other night. I never knew about Lilith.
yeah,
So
I heard you were talking with Brandy. Yeah.
What else are they going to withhold, or how much have they withheld? How much have they changed, you know, in order to keep themselves?
Yeah, you have to look at, like, I guess you have to look at what the church is. So the church, like the Christian church anyway, is like, it was a power, right? Like, it was men who wanted to be in power. They owned the most, and even today they own the most real estate, most valuable real estate in the world, right? Not to mention, you know, what they're sitting on in Rome there. But it's all about power, all about control, and they just went about it a different way than kings and queens and, you know, the other political side of things. So, of course, you know, and also look at, you know, some people take the Bible literally, and that's absolutely fine. Like, I'm not going to knock anybody's beliefs, but when I think about it, you kind of have to put it into context in terms of the times, right? So
yes,
women weren't
understand, right?
Yeah. So
I was just watching a video earlier on the Anunnaki, because this next Sunday I'm gonna be doing something with that with my sister on here. And many of the stories that the Christians thought came from the Bible, they were actually taken from older texts, which were you know, on ancient Sumerian texts.
Yep. So, absolutely.
Origin stories, you name it. So that's got to tell you right there. So
absolutely.
All right, let's see. Hi, B.
Hello.
Nice to be already. Hi, Donna. All right, let's see here. So, do you feel supported by your family spiritually?
We never really talk about it. In terms of my immediate family, like my two kids and whatnot, I never forced them. We did baptize them when they were young, just because I kind of didn't really know any better. And at the time, like, I just didn't want to have a fight with my new in-laws and my own family. But we haven't done any of the other acts with them. And we don't, like, I think we've gone to church once a year, if that. I think we missed Christmas. And actually, my kids and I were having a chat about it not that long ago, actually. And they were asking me about it, and they were asking about, you know, well, why is it that we don't go? And a lot of our friends do. And, you know, so we kind of had that conversation about, well, I think that when you're old enough, you can make up your own mind, but I encourage you to sort of look at look at many, right? Look at many different methods of spirituality, and then you can make up your own mind. What I don't want is what happened to me, which is just everybody sort of spoon fed you the only things that they wanted you to know.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you feel a stronger connection to any certain elements?
Fire.
Fire.
Yeah, I'm a Leo, so fire
Okay.
is yeah, definitely that one. And then I would say on a smaller scale, water, but definitely more fire. I'm yeah, unfortunately, I can go from sort of here to like here.
I gotcha.
Like that.
Fiery personality, huh?
Yeah. And with the Italian in there, which just sort of doubles it, right?
Yeah. I have Italian in here too. I completely understand.
There you
go. Yeah. Do you have a favorite season of the year?
I love the spring and I love the fall. The spring I love because everything is sort of re-emerging, and I love, like, there's nothing I like better than to see all the dead brown trees sort of start to bud. It's my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
And I also live in a very cold city, so I also really enjoy the temperatures getting back to double digits. And the fall I just love for the colors.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Trish says, yes, I'm fire all the way. Yeah, we know that about you, Trish.
And the tarot lady, Italian Irish. Oh my God, that is yeah, that's like just triple everything. We have to tell you the story actually, which is, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely hilarious. So my family, my dad moved here in the late 60s and got married in 1970. My mom moved here for the first time, and they moved into downtown Toronto, a little cabbage town house, so that it's like where the roofs were like literally like this, right? Super high peak, and it was the semi-detached. So first of all, my mom's like, what the hell? Like, where did we move to? Like, because in Italy the roofs they don't get snow, right? So they're not, she thought every house was like a church, basically built like a church. But in the other side of our house, semi-detached house, lived this Irish man, and he was like the grumpiest Irishman you've ever seen, and he hated Italians. Like, I don't know what it was. Hated them. So my dad used to, he never would argue with him, but he would always like just sort of like put in jabs to sort of like make this guy go off. So one spring, this man, George was his name, and we eventually became good friends and whatnot, but his George. So he bought some flowers. I don't remember what kind of, like poinsettias or something. I can't remember. And he was planting them in his front garden, and he thought, like, he wanted to plant the Irish flag, so the green, white, and orange, but he couldn't find any orange flowers, so he planted red, which is now the Italian flag. So my dad waits until he's done completely. Like, it looked gorgeous, right? And my dad goes, "Hey, George, I thought you hated us. But yet you planted our flag. Thanks, man." Oh my God, he ripped out every single flower.
Wow. After all that work.
After all that work by himself, yeah.
That is dedication to that hate. If I don't know better, my goodness.
He mellowed out. I don't know what it was that he had, but he mellowed out, and we were good friends after. But
well, yeah, I'm triple German, Irish, and Italian. So yeah.
Hi.
Lethal combination there. Yeah. And my Italian is half Neapolitan or Neapolitan. Is that how you say it?
Neapolitan. Yeah.
Neapolitan. I'm Swedish. Just kidding. Korean American. You never know, Julie. You just never know. People are melting
It's
pots
true.
nowadays, right?
It is very true.
Summer says, I know I have a lot of German, Irish, and Indian. I'm sure some of other stuff, but those are the main in me. Yeah. Half
Wow.
German, half Irish. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Heinz 57. That's what we kind of call it.
Heinz 57. Okay.
Yeah. Because Heinz 57, the stuff has like all kinds of stuff in it. You know.
Oh, just, ketchup. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you use divination? And if so, what kinds do you use?
Tarot, Oracle. I just bought a couple of pendulums, and which I didn't bring with me, so I thought I would try that just for fun. That's pretty well. I have tried. I did try scrying with water. That didn't really work so well for me, but I'd never done it before, so.
Yeah. Thank you, Tangi. She keeps posting your channel.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. And just subscribe, Jay. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So you said that your sun sign is Leo.
Yep.
Do you know what your tarot birth cards are?
They are the Sun, the Magician, and the Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, you got 3 of them. So you're life path 1 then.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. And did you do any research on that? Do you know about what that means?
Yep. I did a little bit of research, and I had to laugh because, it said for the life path, it said something like, you have to be careful not to try to control things too much. I was like, yeah. Guilty.
Yeah, you think that fits? That's funny.
I don't like things that I can't control. Like, I'm very, that's kind of why, knitting was really great for me, because, you make a mistake and like, at first it would bug me, like it would bug the hell out of me. And then it was just like, okay, you know what? It's okay. Let's just, let's just let it ride. So I try to, in my working world, I try to control as much as I can. But I'm learning to accept a little bit less.
It is difficult. I can relate. I am very much the same way. I like to control my surroundings so there's no surprises, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yes, like vacations, you like over plan them, all the itinerary, all that, right?
I don't. That is
okay.
the thing. Like, I don't, and I think part of it is because my husband is nuts like that on the vacation side. He's the one that researches everything, like has an itinerary. But for me, like when I go on vacation, I'm truly like just trying to let go. I'm good just winging it. It is very strange.
But you can trust him to do it though. So that's
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Me, I plan everything. I've got all the itinerary where, like, if we're driving, what hotel we're going to be sleeping at that night, everything, all bought ahead of time. The traveler's checks, you name it.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of irritating, but
yeah, I know. I know. For me, it's because when I was a kid, I had no control over anything. So that was my mission as a kid. Like, I remember I'm going to get to a spot where I can control my own life. I don't have to rely on anyone else. And that's where that came from for me.
I get that, definitely. So, do you know what your significator card in the tarot is then?
It's usually the Queen of Wands. Okay. Although sometimes the Queen of Cups comes up for me too. But usually it's the Queen of Wands tends to pop up whenever it's a message is like for me and it's like serious. It tends to be that one.
Do you know what your rising sign is?
Is that the main one? I think it's Leo.
Well, that's your sun sign.
Oh, sun sign. There was, so I got 2 reports. I got one from Benabel when I purchased the Metaphysicians Planner.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got one from someone else as well, and they were slightly different, but both of them seemed to say, so Leo for the sun, the next one was Pisces.
Maybe your moon or your rising was Pisces. I'm just wondering if there's water in one of them. You know what I mean? Because of the water aspect.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's worth
I need to do more research. I know nothing about astrology, and that's definitely one of the things that I need to learn.
I want to learn more. I mean, I'm just a baby when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I find it very, very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you have a current favorite deck right now?
All of them.
I know that's a hard question.
Right now, I would say it's this one, the Bohemian Gothic.
Ooh, very nice.
I didn't. This was one of those where I sort of. That's what the backs look like. Sorry, the camera is just kind of weird.
I know it is weird. I can make it a little bit wider if that's easier. There we go.
There we go. So this was one that I did not think I would ever end up with because it went out of print. But it's one that I just kept thinking about, and just, I felt, if it's meant to come into my world, then it will. And it was totally a fluke, like totally a fluke.
Is that silver?
Sorry?
Is that silver gilding on the side? Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So this was a used copy, but I don't know that she ever used it, because honestly, like, the cards look brand spanking new. Yeah. So that's right now my favorite deck, and I'm doing. I know you are too, like Boho Tarot's deep dive. Yeah, so it's this little.
I haven't done that.
Oh, you haven't? Sorry. Okay. I kind of. I'm kind of using her thing. I just have a little journal, and so I think you can buy her. She's got she shows it on her website as well, but she's got the different sections, and so I basically printed a copy of all of the cards, and then I've left for the majors, I've left one full page, and then for the minors, just half a page.
And how did you fix those in there? Did you use Mod Podge?
No, because I tried Mod Podge and it wrinkled the paper, so I used a glue stick.
Okay, all right.
Wasn't great, but it's working. So
hey, if it works, that's perfect.
Yep. So right now, that's my favorite deck, but I'm also really this one.
Oh, that's cool.
My
what's the name of that one? Is that the Housewives one?
This is the Housewives one, and it just makes me laugh. Oops. It just makes me laugh. Like, it is. I never really understood when people said, "Oh, my deck is so saucy," but this one, just because of the art, you can see the Four of Wands.
Yeah.
I don't know how to hold this with the camera.
I know, it's difficult. It's like complete reverse.
Yeah. It's, I mean, like, look at the Queen of Swords, and she's got a pair of garden shears, and the guy is a rose that she's about to cut.
Kenji says, "Is she in a sink? How is that physically possible?" Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very cool. I'll see if I can find the devil. Hold on, this one makes me laugh. The Two of Wands.
Nice.
I'll see if I can find the devil, because that one. Anyway, it's very fun. Like, it I don't know. It's so well done. There's the devil.
Oh gosh. Yep. I can relate. Chocolate cake. Oh my goodness. My goodness
Absolutely.
gracious. That is the devil.
That is the devil.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have a current favorite tarot card right now?
The star.
The star
is always my favorite card. And that one can make or break a deck for me. I think, for me, it's just always been about hope and never losing that hope. So that one has been one that's, lived with me for a long time.
Yeah, and it's coming right out of the tower, right?
Yeah.
Hope after, yeah, definitely.
So, there's a judgment card. Maria was just saying she loves the judgment card. It's a stake on
the.
Oh, it's a stake?
Oh, she's
on a scale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, are those the decks that you're currently working with, or what decks are you currently working with?
I am. So the Bohemian Gothic, I haven't done too many readings with. I've been mostly doing some studying on the cards. The House Fives I've been using a lot. I've been using my Fountain Tarot a lot as well.
Is that one of the bags you made?
Yes.
All right, let us see it.
Oh, that's the deck back in.
That's so good. So, would you consider yourself a current collector? Oh, look at that. That is so good.
Yes, I would have to say that I'm a collector.
All right. And so with saying that, how many decks do you have?
I think the number just reached 100. 100 tarot decks.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's dreamy. So how long have you been collecting, would you say?
Well, just over a year. So since April, I started mid-April last year. I bought my first deck after watching Owl Moon, and she was showing the Tarot de la Nuit. Sorry, this is the other one that I'm really loving right now, which is the Philarcos, the Philarcos Tarot. And this art is very cool as well.
Wow.
Just sort of very dreamy. But yeah, so I think I hit buy on that deck before she even finished showing it.
Nice.
And very shortly after, more started to come in the door. And I'm still waiting for a couple. I have a couple of Kickstarters that I'm waiting for. They won't get until near the end of this year, I think.
100, that is fabulous. In a year, yeah, I'd say that's some really good collecting.
Yeah.
I'm envious.
Not as bad as why. Oh my god, I'm just like blanking on his channel name. Migraine Brain. That's it. Yeah. Has collected about 400, so he's definitely winning for the same amount of time.
Wow, I had no idea. I mean, I do remember one of the first videos that he did was just like tons of boxes, and he's like, and this one, and this one, and this one.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I have, like, when I'm the type of personality that if I decided I'm all the way in, right? So it was the same thing with yarn. I won't show you my yarn collection. It's yeah, they call it stash acquisition beyond life expectancy, Sable. I'm at that level.
I've not heard that, but you know what? If you can, I say go for it. That's what I say.
Everyone, yeah. I mean, it's not like I don't buy every single one I see, but I feel like the ones that I feel like need to be in my life right now, I'm sort of, if I can do it, I'm going to do it.
Maria said, I just had my 100th deck purchase,
Yay!
including backups, but still 5 away from my 100th deck, not counting backups.
Nice.
Way to
Awesome.
go. You go. I'll be there probably in maybe a year. Maybe less. Hopefully less, but we'll see.
I mean, it's kind of funny, right? Because I'm not collecting them. I'm not buying them just to put on a shelf. Like I'm buying them because something about it calls for me and I want to use it.
Yeah.
Having said that, there's been a couple that I've gotten and I'm like, this needs to be in my life, but not right this minute. So it's sitting on the shelf, but I know that I'm gonna come back to it.
Yep.
It's kind of why Carmen says she has 5 bins of yarn. How big are the bins?
I was going to say, the question is, how big are those bins?
Yeah.
Are we talking like huge bins or little bins?
Yeah. Yeah, I just, it's why when I see some people talk about, and everybody's individual and that's fine, but when I see people saying, like this one doesn't really fit my life right now, so I'm going to get rid of it. Like a little part of me is like, no, you might be back in a spot where you need it at some point.
I'm the same way. I like cringe a little bit inside, like, don't do it. Yeah. I've heard so many people when in their videos saying, I got rid of this, and now I'm regretting it, so I got to buy it again. I've heard some people say, I got rid of it twice, and now I got to buy it again. I'm like,
yeah,
no, stop already. Just keep your stuff. You don't know when you're going to need it, right? We change and grow.
Yeah, Julie says that's her. She's a purger. No, I get it. Like some people, having too much stuff, just that's not their thing, right? And that's fine. Just for me, I don't like to get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be that little old lady. Sorry?
I said, I can purge everything else. I don't have a problem purging, but there's just certain things like a tarot, or Oracle. I mean, I bought them for a reason, unless it came with something and I just absolutely don't click with it, period. Or I'm like disgusted by it, which that doesn't normally happen, but yeah, I'm going to keep it.
I have given away some decks, but it wasn't because I didn't like them. It was just because I felt like they really needed to be with someone else. I gave one to a friend who had expressed some interest about tarot. And I'm like, great, I could set you up. And I brought over about 10 and I'm like, pick one of these. And I gave a couple to my daughter.
I was going to say, isn't that kind of like a guilty thing on our end also? Because it's like a way of us saying, come on, you want to be a tarot reader. You want to get into it. Here, let me offer you this. And hopefully I'll get you hooked. Just like I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maria said up there, hi, my name's, where'd she put it? Hello, my name is Maria, and I am a deck collector and enabler.
Yes.
Exactly. We don't need no groups, like support groups for being for being collectors. We need them for the non-collectors, right?
Yeah. Now, the knitters and spinners that I know that we have in this chat here will also know that knitters and spinners are also very, very always on the lookout to make a new knitter and spinner. So it's not just tarot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that your reading style has changed since you started?
Yes, definitely. Well, I mean, for me, it's been a year. I would say a year pretty intense study, I would say. At the beginning, again, just going back to that whole like logic piece, right? Like I must know the meanings of these cards. And then it got to some points where I was doing a reading for someone, and I'm like, I don't know why I want to say this. That's not what the book meaning says, but this is what I mean. So I'm going to say it anyway. And the people said, "Oh my God, yes, that's absolutely true." So I started to when that started to happen, I started to trust my intuition more. And so, I still have the book meaning sort of in my head as a reference, but I'm reading more intuitively, I guess.
I think that helps us stay more objective to know the meanings.
Yeah.
Than adding intuition on top of that. Sometimes you just don't understand why we get a gut feeling about something, right?
Yeah. I just look at them all as tools, right? So you've got the tools from the base meanings, and that's just one piece of it, but that's not the whole story.
Right.
But I feel like it just gives you a good foundation, I guess, to start with.
I think so too.
I don't know. Like I was talking to someone recently who said, no, I just got a tarot teacher and she wants me to only not look at the books, throw them out, and just read intuitively. And I said, okay, so if you look at a picture that has a person that looks like they're dead, and there's 4 swords, what does that tell you intuitively? He's like, I don't friggin' know. I'm like, well, but if you had something to sort of spark that, anyway.
Or like death. I mean, Dee did a video. You probably seen it. It was a while back. It was a guy. It was like a parody, really, of a guy throwing down cards and putting his.
Oh, yeah.
It was so friggin' funny. But you could see where someone would think that, oh, you're gonna die, or something.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And Veronica says it perfectly here. She says she learned the meanings first because I'm a learn the rules first person before you break the rules kind of chick. And that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. I got to have a good foundation and then grow from that.
Yeah.
So, do you have any daily rituals that you do?
I brush my teeth. I take a shower. I have started. Nothing that I do every day without fail in terms of the spiritual side of things. I do my best to do a reading before bed, just to kind of reflect on the day. I try to do a reading for the week ahead, but I don't always manage it. I try to do a daily outlook reading, but I don't always manage it, and that's okay. I just do it when I can. I do have a little altar set up, and so I've been doing a little bit more praying is not probably the right word, but meditating. I definitely I've brought meditation into my life, which is, I think, made a really big difference for me. So, yeah. But that's about it.
Okay. Do you remember your dreams?
Very rarely. I remember them only when they're just something is so weird. I remembered all the dreams when I first had my kid, my first child, and I would have dreams I would be at a gas station pumping gas, and for some reason I took my daughter out of her, in the car seat, out of the car, and put it on the roof of the car, and then I would drive off and I'd forget her. Another one, we were in a shopping mall and there was a fire, and somehow I ended up outside and she's inside. Those are probably just new mother kind of dreams. Yeah. But usually when I remember my dreams now, it tends to be because there's something, my brain has been working out some problem. And then if I remember it, and I try to write it down as soon as I can, when I wake up, and then it'll come to me, oh, that's, what, this is dealing with this issue, and here's the this is the solution, or this is what I need to do next to figure out the solution.
So you do have a dream journal then?
I do, yeah.
Awesome.
I kind of put it together all with like my tarot journal. I just kind of put it all in one. I have a lot of notebooks, so I try to. Yeah, stationery. I'm a stationery junkie as well.
Yeah, Cindy, she was referring to the video I was talking about with Dee, where she's doing like a parody. You'll have to go over to Divination's channel. I highly recommend it. It is so friggin' hilarious. Oh my gosh.
It's a guy who's never read tarot before, but he's doing like super speed readings.
Right. But I mean, he's trying to be funny. And I don't know if he's never read it before, but he was definitely trying to be funny. Okay. Yeah. My back. All right. So, do you have a favorite holiday or Sabbath?
Always Christmas and Halloween.
Christmas and Halloween.
Mostly because I just, am I frozen? Yeah. Mostly because I just love like everybody getting together and celebrating together.
Absolutely wonderful. Do you work with crystals? If so, what are your favorites?
I don't know if work with them would really be it, but I've sort of been learning a little bit about that as well, and their different properties. Sorry, I'm just reaching over. So I have a piece of amethyst, which I love, and I love malachite.
Nice.
And rose quartz.
Beautiful.
And I won't show you the ones that are stuffed in my bra right now.
You don't want to pull those out for us?
I'll save you that.
I love that. So do you have a special skill or hobby that you would like to tell us about?
I would say, like the knitting, the crocheting, the spinning.
Wow, that's really cool.
Those are the knitting especially is I guess that's my little niche. That was my first thing that I came to for stress relief for my job, because I had a job where I was in consulting engineering, working 60, 70 hours a week, and I needed something to
look at that.
Just something to de-stress. And so if anybody's looking for something like that, I highly recommend knitting, because if you're learning a new skill, like your entire brain is focused on that new skill. You can't think about anything else, right? So, and then I discovered, from something that started because I wanted to de-stress, became sort of a passion where I was like knitting every single day until last year. So now I'm just kind of starting getting into it again. But
you're, like you said, you're like an all-in kind of person. So when you started your tarot, right? Yeah.
I am all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the knitting and stuff?
Since about 2012, 2013, something like that.
All right. Yeah, Cindy says she loves it. Knitting is awesome for stress and can be like meditation.
It absolutely is. And, like I said, when you're first learning, like you are, like you're literally just thinking, okay, like my first step, needle goes in this way, and then you wrap the yarn this way, and then you got to come back out. Oh shit, I went backwards. You literally can't think about anything else, right? So it's great for that. And then you get to the point where like now I can knit without looking. I don't have to. That's actually a problem, because if you saw I just put up the other day I put up the knitting tutorial for these things. And so I showed in the first video, how to do the base, and then the top. This is a crochet one, not knit, but I showed how to do the base and then part of the top. And I said, I'll be back when I get to the top here, right? Well, I went on autopilot and I freaking knit 3 of them, like complete, before I
Realize what you had done,
before
right?
I realized, oh shit, I was supposed to stop here.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it's just you go on autopilot.
I think also when you're doing that, it's like you're almost channeling something divine. The creativity, it's like being poured into you, because it's very much the same with the bead weaving that I would do. When I first
Okay,
started
yeah.
learning new designs, because it's needle and thread,
Yep.
but the
Yeah.
beads are just really little. And then after a while, after you've done it so much, I could be sitting here going like this, watching TV. Like it was second nature, but it puts you like in a different state. It's wonderful. It's
I
very
agree.
epic, very. So, do you currently have a favorite book or artist?
So far, the only books that I've been reading lately, it's really bad. The only books that I've been reading lately have been technical manuals and Tarot de Marseille books. So, I used to read everything and anything I could get my hands on. I've always been that way. I taught myself to speak English from reading an English encyclopedia and an English Bible, because when we moved back to Italy at one point, and then you just kind of, like, if you're not using it, you lose it, right? So, but yeah, I would literally read anything. I just love reading.
That's really cool. So, do you have a current TV series that you are enjoying?
Oh, you know what? I started. I wanted something on today, just sort of in the background, and one came up. What was it called? I just finished watching Lock and Key.
Oh,
You
that's
seen that?
Yeah.
It's cool. I like that. I love Lucifer as well. The one I just started today, which I thought would be really hokey, but I kind of like that. It's not great writing, but it's kind of a fun show, is called Always a Witch. It's actually a Spanish show. It takes place in Cartagena, and there's some. It starts actually with an 18-year-old getting burned at the stake way back, and then she ends up in today's world. So it's a fun one.
I've watched about 8 episodes of that one. It's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I've only had one. Yeah. Oh.
I know. Maria, she goes, wait, what? English is your second language? I know. I was thinking the same thing. Excellent.
No, I'm not going to speak Italian. It started off, I guess it started off as my first language when I was very young. Then we moved to Italy. We moved to Italy back and forth a lot, right through until almost high school. And when I came back, well, kids can be really mean, right?
Yeah.
And one of the times I came back, I guess I was going into grade 6. And, it was, let's just say being Italian from Italy, and I think Irish is probably the same thing here in an area of, what used to be called WASPs, right? Just all white English people. We were not considered white, right? So prejudice was huge. And the minute that I opened my mouth and people heard my accent, it just really sucked. Like, it really sucked. So I did everything I could to eliminate that accent. And so now my now my Italian has an English accent or a Canadian accent.
I was going to say, I don't hear any Italian accent.
I worked very hard. Sesame Street was my savior. Let me tell you. Like, no joke. I watched, that was because A is for apple, not apple.
Yeah.
Apple. And like like all those exercises. My Maria asked what language did my parents speak with me. They always spoke Italian with me. And bene, sì. Yeah, at first I would always speak in Italian back to them, but then like once I had these issues, I just started speaking English.
Julie says, speak Italian to us. Yeah, we want to hear it.
No, my Italian is actually very rusty now. I can speak it, but it's very rusty because I haven't been back in a long time. 5 years was the last time I visited. But MTV was my English teacher. I didn't have MTV. We didn't have a lot growing up, so I think you had to pay for that channel, maybe.
In America, you didn't, but
oh, okay.
At least, yeah. No. Well, I don't know. Did you guys? I don't remember. I mean, it was a long time ago. So I mean,
that was a long time ago.
13 years old when it came out or something. So if my mom paid for it, I don't know. She might have had a local cable or something.
Yeah. It teaches a curse word.
Yeah, come on.
Everybody knows the F off, right? Vaffanculo. Vaffanculo.
Okay, there we go. Demonetization, here I come. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Nah,
there's Italian curse words are cool because they're very inventive. Like if an Italian person, like I'm not, it's going to sound like I'm, so it's going to sound like I'm like thinking that I'm here and like Italian Canadians or Italian Americans are down here. And that's not the case at all. It's just the culture is very different.
Yeah.
And so when an Italian from Italy curses at you, it's not just like F you, right? It is like the most inventive thing that you've ever heard. Like they'll actually like curse you, like, may you live to be 150 years old, which you think, hey, that's great, right? But then the second part is, but live, not be able to do anything and have like only one leg and have to take 25 medicines a day, right? Like it's
that's rough,
right? Like and that's like the least inventive. Like they're very very, very inventive. And if you hear like the funniest, and it's just sort of throughout the culture, right? So even with children, Julie's laughing. Even with children, like if you hear my brother-in-law talk to his 3-year-old son, he'll say, Joshua, if you don't stop screwing around right now, I'm going to punch you in the face. Right? I'm going to punch you so hard, you're going to end up in the field 300 feet that way. That's just like a normal, but if you put that here, oh my God, like Children's Aid Society and stuff, right? But like, it's just part of, like, everybody knows, like, that's not, even the kids know, right? Like, because Joshua will just turn around and start laughing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like what you've heard, I'm going to hit you so hard that your mom's going to feel it. One of those kind of things.
You're going to remember it till you're 50. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, shoot.
Like the Golden Girls. Yeah.
Love the Golden Girls. Yeah. So, do you have a favorite witch movie or series that you've liked?
Harry Potter, of course.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like, I don't like horror movies, so that probably cuts out a lot. I don't like thrillers because I get very bad dreams. So I'm trying to think of, like, I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Just kind of things that are just like totally out there. I liked Charmed. Sorry?
Sabrina?
Yeah. Yeah. Although I think the third season was really weird, but with all the singing and stuff, they went a little crazy. But I like fun-hearted,
Quirky
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that that show in the 80s I used to watch all the time without fail, like with with the guy from Dynasty? Bewitched, yeah. I used to love that show.
Yeah, no, there's no
way.
Do that. Felt like, yeah.
I can't do it.
That's what we should do.
Hi, Julie.
I can do that. I'd like to see a video on that, please. So, do you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay.
Definitely. I love both, actually, but coffee, I have to have my coffee in the morning. Don't even talk to me.
Yeah. So, is there a time period that you feel drawn to other than like right now?
I've always been drawn to the ancient times. So ancient Rome, ancient Greece, Sparta, like all that time period. I used to study like on my own. I had like textbooks, Italian textbooks, which I wish I still had. I had no idea where they went. My parents probably threw them out, but I used to study just on my own ancient history. I loved it. I loved like the whole mythos of like the Greek pantheon and the Italian and the Roman pantheon, and learning about gods and goddesses and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Mount Olympus and all.
Yeah, I love it. Now I would, I wouldn't want to have lived there unless I was like very rich, well off.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I didn't have to worry about getting saddled off to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bye, Julie. Thank you for coming, sweetie.
Bye, Julie.
Maria says Bewitched was my first ever witchy series I watched when I was 9.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
I loved it.
I don't know how old I was, but.
And you know what I think is funny? I didn't until years later realize that there was 2 different Darrens. I don't
remember.
What about you guys? It wasn't until I think I seen a documentary or something like that I realized, yeah, after the first year they did switch the Darren. I'm like, no. But he was never too much in it. He wasn't really. It was all about her and her mom.
Yeah.
So if you could have a deep conversation with anyone during any time period, who would it be and why?
I thought about this, and I said there's so many. Like, I don't have one over another, but like one of the things I love to know is like people's motivations for things. So I'd love to have a conversation with like Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, like all these people. Helen of Troy, like like why, what motivated them?
Yeah, right on.
To do the things that they did. Yeah. Even oh my God, Joan of Arc, right? Same thing. Like, I would love to have those conversations with them.
A woman for that, leading an army
at 16.
Yeah. Wow, that's wild. Yeah. I would do that too. That's fantastic. So if you could go back to any event in history, and if there's 5 events, then tell us 5 events, okay?
Same thing. Like, I'd love to be there for the, at some point of the building of the pyramids. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see what the Colosseum looked like originally, right? Because what it looks like now is nothing like it. It used to have white marble and all that stuff. I'd love to see the war at Troy, like just things like things like that. I would, yeah, I'd love to. I would love to. I would actually really have, like, this is the most, I guess, the most recent event. I would love to be there when women were given the right to vote in North America, right?
Yeah.
Like so I remember I used to, when I first graduated, one of my first jobs in an engineering company was I was doing building inspections, and someone asked me to do a favor for them, and they were buying a house, like 150-year-old or 200-year-old house, and wanted me to take a look at it just so you'd had some idea. And so I'm in the basement, unfinished basement. You could see the floor joists, sorry, not studs, and all the piping, right? So the copper piping. And I had to do a double take because what they had wrapped the pipes in was newspaper. And like all I saw was a headline, "Women given the right to vote."
Wow.
I was like, holy shit, can I like unwrap it, please? Try to read this. Yeah.
Reminds me of like that on the, I don't even remember, the Home Channel or whatever, If These Walls Could Talk, where they find a bunch of old stuff, you know, like in the attics and actually in the walls or in the floors. And yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, the right to vote. It's amazing what they had to go through.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And it wasn't that long ago, just over 100 years ago. You know?
It wasn't even 100 years ago in Canada. I think it was like, is it 1929 or something? I could be wrong. Anyway, somewhere around there.
Right. It was a long time ago, but not that long ago when you think about
not that long ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have a website, honey?
I do not. No.
So, like your readings and stuff, do you actually do readings for other people? Is there
I have been. I've been asked. I've just been asked by people to do some readings, so that was cool. I just so far, you know, I've done a few on Facebook Messenger. So actually, like talking to the person live. I've done a couple on Zoom, and then most of them are just like, you know, film it on YouTube for me, private video, and I send that to them and then get their feedback. So yeah, it's been fun. So it's just been people contacting me. I'm like, great, I love it.
Through your Facebook then?
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys, I do have it on the bottom of the other video that we first started with, the Facebook and her Instagram, okay? So please, I will be, once this is over, I will be updating this one. I was just trying to hurry and get back up here without putting all the information back in there.
Panic.
Yes, that's the first time it's ever happened to me. It was terrible. I'm telling my husband, I'm like, hurry up and get that damn thing up. I said she was already nervous to begin with, and then I got to start off this way. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm doing everything I can. I'm like, okay, I know. So how long have you been on YouTube, honey?
11 months. So
11
next month it'll be a year. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a journey for sure.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you, and I want to thank Lady Night especially, because I think the two of you are like, oh, and also I'm not sure if she's here, but oh my God, sorry, I'm coming off a migraine and my brain doesn't work at full capacity right now.
Yeah.
Ozark Oracle. Yes.
Donna,
yeah. Thank you. Like the three of you were super amazing when I first started. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I think I uploaded some videos where you couldn't even hear anyways. But you know, you guys were super encouraging. So thank you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. We've all been there. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that you're we talked about this beforehand, about the direction for your channel going forward. Do you know what direction you want to go with it?
Not specifically. I just want things to grow sort of organically. So I want to, above all, like I have a full-time job and I have a full life. So I don't want this to become something that I have to do, right? Like I'm doing it because I'm having fun and it's great to meet people, and I've been really enjoying it. I don't want to promise, okay, this is what I'm going to do every day, on this day, every week is when I'm going to be uploading things, because then I just feel like crap if I miss it. Right? That's not the purpose for this. I'd like to do some readings. I don't know if I'll ever do live ones, because right now that's kind of freaking me out. Step one was just putting my face on.
There.
Yeah, and I almost deleted that video. I don't know how many times. Yeah, I would love to continue to grow the community. I would love to continue to get to know people. I love when people comment on my videos, and we have a back and forth conversation. It's I love that, and I would like to put out content that helps people in some way, and that's not necessarily teaching, right? Because the reality is that most of you have been doing this far longer than I have, and you could you could teach me. But
no, I don't think that's true, honey. I think we all learn from each other. You might see something that we don't see, and vice versa. So
that's true. Yeah, no, that's true. I guess I don't want to put out there that I think I'm expert in anything, because I don't think that's the farthest thing from the truth ever. But I do want to put something out, like the content I want to put out has to be not only I want it to be of value to people, right? And sometimes the value is just having fun, like seeing something fun, right? So it doesn't have to be well, the Four of Swords means this. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And what do you wish to gain from your channel?
A community, just a community of people who support each other and feel safe to share. This is certainly, so far it's been a great place for me, and hopefully I've helped to make that a great place for other people as well.
Yep, you're an enabler just like the rest of us.
Yep. I can't help it. Sorry.
That's all right. We don't mind.
I will get you guys knitting.
That's cool. That's cool. So normally this is the part of the video or the live where I ask if it's all right if other people ask you questions, and if you're comfortable with that. All right, guys, let her have it. I did want to mention though, because when I talked about the two Darrens, Maria said she's seen them right away, that they switched it. She loved the first one. Dawn said that the first Darren had horrible back problems. That's why they switched him out, which I didn't know that. She says, I remember two Darren. See, I didn't. I don't know why. Granted, I mean, that was a long time ago, but it just didn't dawn on me.
That was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
We're dating ourselves. Probably, have you ever gone back and watched shows that you loved in the 80s? And now...
Prairie.
Okay, and how did you like it?
I loved it.
Watching it? Oh, really? Like watching it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm like kind of corny that way. I liked the old pioneering days, and I loved Michael Landon and the whole story. But I'll even watch stuff on the Hallmark Channel now, like When Comes Hope, or it's something like that. There's two of them that I watch. And then the other one that was newer this year was two sisters that started an orphanage. And it's also in like that kind of a setting, old pioneer out west. But I love that. Hi, Darlene. Sorry, I had to step out. The minute it becomes work, it stops being fun. Same here. Yeah, I agree. At any point that you put too much pressure, that's another reason I've had people tell me with the interviews, well, you really should have it all set up, because I will sometimes have 2 months already,
Yeah.
scheduled. But I don't like to do that, because I don't want anybody to feel like if something comes up, because it's YouTube, it's not the most important thing in people's lives. I don't want people to feel like trapped by it if they have to reschedule. So
Flexibility is good.
yeah, exactly. I've had
Yeah.
people reschedule because of it. Life happens.
Yeah.
I get it. So I don't like to put that kind of pressure on people.
Yeah.
On the Prairie this morning. Oh, Trish, I love that. She says she watched Little House on the Prairie this morning.
I loved the books, and I read every book by her, by Laura Ingalls, and I loved that show.
She
Very
says,
sad when he died.
I'm watching The Bionic Woman now, and it takes me right back to watching it back in the day with the family.
I'm gonna write that down, because that's another show that I used to love, and I didn't even know that that you can get it now.
Wonder Woman. Have you guys watched old Wonder Woman in a long time?
No.
I haven't, but I loved that. I loved it. And for like 2 seasons, they had, was it Isis? They had, I think it was Isis. Whoa. She was, Isis, but she had like powers, like Wonder Woman, like powers, kind of like that.
Okay.
And The Man from Atlantis. Do you guys remember that?
No.
Wow, that was really good. So, Maria says, Jade, will you do a flip through of your English Arcus Arcanum?
Yes, I will. I will do that. I wanted to do a flip through of all of my decks, not just to have it for myself, because sometimes I do like to go through and I'm not near my decks. So it's like, there's about 15 decks or something that I want to do a flip through of, and that's one of them. I will.
Yeah, Trish says the A team, and Veronica says she
A team, yes.
So Cindy, I'm sorry, I did see that earlier, and it just kept on going, and we were talking. But she did ask earlier, did your family believe in the hands and the horn? My mom did.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's funny, right? Again, like mixing the Catholic religion with the hands and the horn, which are not, right? But when I was baptized, so an Italian tradition is to give gold, right? So necklaces, usually they'd be crosses, or bracelets, again, that had some religious, Catholic symbols on it. But you would always get a necklace that had the hands and the horn to ward off evil, protect you against malicious.
And that's not Catholic by any means?
No, that's like, I think that's back to like Roman times. Like that is very, very old. Yeah.
Okay. Love the Man from Atlantis. Yes. The way that he would swim. It was funny. Oh, yeah. I watched all of those shows from the 70s and 80s, including Love Boat.
Love Boat.
And Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island, yes.
Takes you back. I had the whole collection of Wonder Woman on VHS. That kills me. When we were kids, the funny thing was, when we were playing, every single one of us wanted to be Wonder Woman. So we made these like paper things that we would put around our hands and we go, fight off bullets. Yep. We had the golden lasso, and it was so much fun.
My dad had, because I loved Wonder Woman as well, and I did a similar thing. So what he did, at one point we got some new cutlery, and he actually took the spoons and like bent them into a circle so I could wear it as a bracelet, right? So that was my medal.
Very cool. What a day. That.
Yeah.
Very ancient. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in church, did anyone ever talk about a female pope?
No, I never knew that there was a female pope until I started learning tarot.
Tarot to
And
myself.
it wasn't even Tarot de Marseille. Like, I think the first one I got was the Ancient Italian.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's where I read it. But I'm like, oh, I had no idea.
Yes.
Blasphemy.
Patty.
Again, like, push the women down, right? Like, women can't be priests. Women can't be popes. Like, that there's going to be competition. We don't need that.
Yes. Remember freaking out over his webby hands. Yeah. She's talking about the man from Atlantis. It was Patrick Duffy who played Bobby on Dallas.
Dallas, yes.
Was the guy from Dallas.
That was another show that I that I used to watch all the time.
Yep. And Falcon Crest.
Yes.
And there was another one that went with them. Knots Landing, right?
Knots Landing, yeah.
Magnum PI. Did you guys watch that? Wow, this has been a blast from the past.
I used to drive my parents crazy because when I was watching Dynasty, I was in high school, and in music class, so grade 9, like, music was not an option, and the only instrument I could get, well, I didn't want to play flute. I really wanted to play saxophone, but that was taken. I wanted to play piano, but nobody except the teacher was allowed. Anyways, I picked a trumpet, and I would practice that Dynasty theme song nonstop.
That's fun. Oh yes, Charlie's Angels.
Yes.
Yes. Heart to heart.
How did I learn tarot? I learned tarot by myself, by reading books and by watching YouTube. So there's a whole bunch of people, like, especially Tarot Oracle has amazing courses. There's a few others, Dusty White as well, and just a lot of study. Yeah, a lot of reading, a lot of study. And one of the things, this is part of the reason why I ended up down the rabbit hole of buying tarot decks, is because I would take all of my decks. Let's say I was looking at the 5 of Wands. I would take the 5 of Wands out of all of my decks and then actually contrast and compare. And I found that really, and then I would journal about it. And I would, write down what the book said for each of those. But then what did I get out of them, and what was similar across them versus what was different, and what did that bring into things? I did a lot of writing, and I ran through a lot of pens. But that's kind of how I.
Memory? Do you have a really good memory?
Not as good as it used to be. I used to have an eidetic memory where I could, if you gave me a quote, I could tell you exactly what magazine or what book I read it, what page it was on, and what side of the page it was on, and where on the page it was.
That could really come in handy,
Yeah, and then came kids and chronic migraines, and I don't have that anymore.
Oh no,
unfortunately. But I do have a good memory for things. Like, if I write it down, I will remember it forever. If I don't write it down, if I'm just listening, then I'll probably retain 10%. Yeah.
I have to say, look at what everyone's saying. Dynasty, didn't watch Dallas, Knots Landing, Charlie's Angels,
Dukes of Hazzard, yes.
Remington Steele, yes, and Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got his deck on Kickstarter. But what really made me laugh was Carmen watches Charlie's Angels in the morning with the Bionic Woman and the Bionic Man. Yes. That is an action-packed morning.
Nice. Oh, Knight Rider, yes.
Kit, yeah. The car. So does anyone have any questions? Don't forget Knight Rider, What were you going to say, sweetie?
I don't remember.
Yeah, those kids have really done it for you, haven't they?
Oh my God, it's so bad right now. Well, my migraines don't help, right? Because I'll have them for days on end. And I'm, luckily for me, I'm like very, like I'm very regimented about things, right? Like I try to do things in a specific order. And so if I can't remember whether I actually did it or not, I'll rely on that. And usually that's right. But I'll walk into a room and completely forget why I walked in, or I'll pull my phone to check something and then completely forget why. It'll come back to me, but
Yeah.
just so many things. I need to. My brain, unfortunately, needs to just catch up sometimes.
Yeah. I completely get that. That's why sometimes, and my friends, when we'll be doing like FaceTime, I'll be like, I'm sorry. I got to say this really quick because if I don't say it, I'm going to forget it. They're just like, go ahead, Rachele. You know, they understand because my memory is not anywhere near what it used to be.
My staff is like that. Like they've finally gotten to the point where they recognize. I'm like, I know I'm really rude. I'm being very rude and interrupting you. But if I don't say that, I don't have a pen to write this down. So I have to tell you this now. And then they're like, yeah, okay, it's fine.
Just let me have it. Just tell me.
Yeah. Hi, House of Sage and Lavender.
Hi, honey.
For the longest time, there was this rumor of David Hasselhoff having reunited the two Germanys by singing "Looking for Freedom" at the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, my son has David Hasselhoff music on his playlist. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I'm sorry. I don't understand that. Remember Family Affair? Yeah, I do.
I don't remember that one.
I'm
going to hate it going back to The Office. Yes, me too. I've kind of gotten...
Family Ties, Maria, with Michael J. Fox. You know, I got lots of migraines all the time. I then made a Pop-It just for migraines, so now I don't get as many as I used to.
Oh. Ooh. All right. We'll have to have a chat about that because at this point, I'm willing to try anything. Actually, that's actually an interesting story for me is like I have tried, I've suffered from migraines, for chronic migraines a long time. And I've tried probably every medicine known to man. And I've done like Eastern medicine, Western medicine, I've done acupuncture, I've done Reiki, I've done all kinds of things. And my boss actually at my old company said, you have to see this lady. Her name was Chantal, and she's a witch. Wow. But she's like gotten rid of ghosts out of my house for me. You gotta remember, this is like, again, he's a structural engineer and he's like super, shocked the hell out of me when he said this. He's like, I know it sounds crazy, but you got to try it. And I talked to her and she's like, well, I just want you to know, like, I see energy and I see things like differently. So if you're not willing to try something different, like, I'm not going to give you drugs or whatever. I'm like, lady, if you want me to beat on a drum and, while hopping on one foot and patting my head in my head, like at this point,
I
will try anything. And she did help for a long time, but now she's moved away, unfortunately. So.
I've heard that different people get different things that will trigger them. But Cindy's saying don't burn vanilla candles or vanilla essential oil. Have you done that?
Not usually. No.
Oh, Mork from Orc. I love that.
Mork and Mindy.
Me and Frenchie. Yeah. I had David's poster in my room next to Michael Jackson. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Meditate and go within, the more flaky I've become. I cannot remember anything from 1 minute to the next. You know, I think it's also because we take in so much information. You know, I mean, like a certain level of capacity that we have in there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I don't think that's what it is.
You suffer too, eh, Maria? Yeah, migraines just suck.
Hi, Brandy. I need a
leech therapy. Oh my God. That's the one thing I will not try. Sorry.
Yeah. I've had them on me before. 1 year we came out of this lake where we used to go all the time. And 1 year they were really bad. I come out of it and I've got them all over me. I'm like, oh my God, get them off, get them off. They were all over the place. It was
so did you roll in salt?
No, just picked them off. Just picked them off. And you could see they had already been sucking my blood from all over. Yeah. I didn't even know they were on me. You can't feel them, or at least I couldn't. There was a bunch of us that came out of the water and we all had them on us. I mean, it was a really bad infestation. And that was the only year it was like that there. Wow. We had been there many times before and after, and that was the only time it ever happened. It was weird.
Weird.
Oh, you would do leeches, but it's expensive. Oh. I've had clients swear by Botox for their migraines. Once a friend raised her eyebrow during the shot and looked like she was surprised and questioning for weeks. Huh.
So I do Botox right now for my migraines. It definitely helps. Like I was at a point where I was, out of 30 days in a month, I would be down with a horrible migraine for 25 of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so the Botox probably knocks them down to about 15 days, 15 to 20, but closer to 15. So it definitely helps. And I've had one time I had the Spock look. I don't know if they just didn't put it in the right spot or whatever, but yeah, if anybody's going to do Botox, make sure that the person who's doing it has done hundreds, if not thousands of them.
Yeah, wow. But it didn't help mine. That makes me wonder, is there something maybe that is being attached to you? I mean, have you ever, some sort of entity that is attached to you that is causing it?
I don't know. I would love, if somebody, if I could find someone that would could check that for me, I would totally look for that. I've had my grandmother and my brother-in-law actually do the whole Malakio, take the evil eye away. And that was actually amazing because I literally went from pain level 9 to holy shit, it's gone. I was almost dizzy.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to.
Is that where they do the egg?
No, it's the water and the olive oil.
Oh.
Actually, so if you watch Mary Grace Farron, so I don't know if it's on her main channel or on Rue's Kitchen channel. She actually shows it. She actually does the whole thing, but which is very controversial because I remember everybody I talked to, my grandmother used to do it, and like I said, my brother-in-law, and their tradition is you can only learn it from someone who has practiced it on one particular night of the year on a full moon or something like that. It's
wow.
So I sent Mary Grace's video to my brother-in-law, and he was in Italy, and he was having a heart attack, and I'm like, dude, it's it's just another gatekeeping form, right? Having to learn it on a particular day at a particular time. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, under the chair you do it, the tarot lady. What? It's never been under a chair. It's always been on the table, but yeah, I guess people have different traditions for it.
I definitely have to check this out because I've never heard of any of that. And it sounds pretty interesting.
It's they put 3 drops in a bowl of water, And then depending on how the olive oil drops move, like whether they move or not, and if they split or if they come together, it all means something.
Oh.
I haven't learned. I never learned, but you can watch. Yeah, Mary Grace does do.
I want to get her book.
Yeah.
I got to get her book.
It's great. It's actually that her book was how I found her in the first place, because I was kind of, my grandmother had just died and I sort of lost the opportunity to really learn from her. Well, for a long time actually, because she's had Alzheimer's and stuff. But so I was kind of looking like, okay, is there anything that I can learn, from, is there any books that have been written? And that's how I found Mary Grace's book. And it's awesome. Yeah, it's good.
It's been on my wish list for a while. I need to just get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your grandmother always did it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was Italian until I was like a young adult. My mom's side didn't know, and it was from my dad's side, and my dad's side, he wasn't really too much in the picture. So my sister found out from a family member that approached her when we were like,
wow.
Yeah, like 18, 19, 20, around there. So we didn't even know we had Italian. So we did not, we don't know any of that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Well, they don't talk about it either, right? Like, it's kind of like, I guess the term witch is not, it's as much as people like to think that it's mainstream now, because it's still really not, like, it's still very, not a, sorry, brain again. It's kind of a derogatory term, right? So like, even I could think like some of my relatives who I know practice stregheria, or like the Italian witchcraft form. They would never say anything to anybody, right? Even people who would go to them to have their evil eye, the malakio taken away, would still, they're like, is this witchcraft? No. It's just a folk. It's just, like something that's been passed down for a long time.
Yeah. Old wives' tales and
yeah. But you have to believe.
Right. Yeah. Well, this has been wonderful. We're going on almost 2 hours now. Although,
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, don't be sorry. That's usually how they go. I just had one with Brandy, and ours went like 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think, because we could just talk. That's what's so fun about these. Yeah. Now, let me ask you: from the time that we started and now, see, it wasn't no big deal, right?
Yeah. No,
it's fun.
Brandy says, sorry, I don't shut up. Sorry, I have the same problem.
Hey, don't we all? That's what we're here for, is to talk. Yeah. This has been really wonderful, though. Thank you so much, Jade.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. I just see Cindy says, do you have a link to her? Cindy, do you mean to Mary Grace?
Mary Grace. Yeah, she's actually somebody that I follow if you look at all of my subscriptions. And mine are open so you can see them. So you can find her, Mary Grace Faroon.
So it's Fahrun. Yeah.
Let me type it in for you.
Oh, thank you, Veronica. Jude. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you put that.
Did I get that right? Do you know?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Maria.
Oh, Maria. Thank you.
Yes, this has been wonderful. So I'm very appreciative. And I am very sorry about the mix-up in the very beginning with my internet. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes.
You can't control technology, right? So
as much as I wish I could, right?
Yeah. So
all right. Well, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening or day, if your day is just beginning. And I love you guys.
Thanks, everybody.